Food, 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 food. The world is very polarized these days. Doesn't matter where you live, doesn't matter who you are, but there's one thing that we can agree on. We all love food. So today we're not talking about just that average everyday food you find in your pantry, that nice stuff you find in grandma's refrigerator. We're talking about the down and dirty. We're talking about the gross and dry. We're talking about that astronaut food, the stuff you take with you hiking. Today I'm going to show you all the food I bring along with Laura and I when we're on a 3-night, 4-day hike. So a multi-day hiking trip. This is the food that we bring with us. So let's jump right into it. So the first thing we start the day with is coffee. Coffee. We got a big old bag of instant coffee. Our favorite flavor is the vanilla instant coffee. I believe it's a Nescafe. We love this stuff. Coffee's pretty straightforward. We boil the water in the morning, we drink our coffee, and then we get hiking. We run that caffeine high as hard as we can, as long as we can, until we feel that grumbling in our stomach and we want to start eating. Breakfast is usually one of two things for us on the trail. The first, good old oatmeal. So right here, we got 4 bags of oatmeal. So this will be 2 of our breakfasts on the trail. This is protein oatmeal and we make it ourselves and we put it into individual Ziploc bags. It's got about 1/3 to 2/3 of a cup of oats. It's got a scoop of protein powder. It's got some peanuts and it's got dried bananas. We put this all in a Ziploc. After we make our coffee, we'll pour water into this bag and we'll just leave the bag in our backpacks. This Ziploc bag, I know it seems ridiculous, but we'll just leave it in our bag and it kind of cold soaks the oats. You can drink it like an astronaut, whoop-de-doo, or you can, stick a spoon in it or however you want to eat it. It's usually really delicious. And when you put that protein powder in, those nuts in, it's high calorie, high protein, tastes delicious, and it's quick and easy. So that's our first meal of the day. That's our breakfast on the trail. We usually have this around 11 a.m. The next thing we'll eat for breakfast, if we're not eating oats and we're bored of oats, is cereal. Cereal is pretty much my favorite treat in the entire world. I absolutely love it, and nothing's better than some ice cold water and some crunchy cereal when you're on the trail. Trust me, it's amazing. We got 2 types here. They're both vector cereals and they're both high protein, but the secret to this is powdered milk. So in here you can see this weird yellowish looking powder. That's powdered milk. So all you got to do is you got to pour cold river water into this baggie, and Bob's your uncle. You have an ice cold delicious bowl of cereal on the trail. So for breakfast, we're either having cereal or we're having oatmeal, and my God, let me tell you, they're both absolutely delicious and a great way to start the day. So I don't ever plan any specific lunches on the trail. When you're hiking, you're gonna be attacking different terrain, going at different speeds. The sun's gonna be hitting you differently. There's a million things. I never find that I'm hungry at the same time, but I constantly make sure I feed myself while I'm hungry. And how do I do that? With a bunch of delicious snacks. So on the trail, our main snack that we love to eat a lot of the time are protein bars. My favorite, Cliff Builders bars. They're delicious. They're high in protein. They've got lots of sugar, lots of carbs, which is good because you need to replenish electrolytes when you're on the trail. So Cliff Builders bars. We like the mint flavor. We like the peanut butter chocolate flavor is probably my favorite, or the peanut butter flavor. Big peanut butter guy. We also carry just regular good old classic Cliff bars. Once again, lots of sugar, lots of carbs. They're a great thing to eat when you're on the trail, and they'll fill you up a bit. They'll give you that energy to keep on going. So granola bars, always bring along granola bars. We also bring along some more fun snacks. It's important to bring fun things to eat because it motivates you to keep walking. So some of those snacks, good old beef jerky. This is probably the #1 hiking snack in the world and probably up there with one of my favorite food groups. I love beef jerky, and if I was a rich man and had loads and loads of money, I'd probably eat beef jerky every day. But if any of you have ever bought beef jerky, it's quite expensive, but we always have beef jerky. Another thing we bring along are these little Parmesan cheese wisps, they're called. They're little cheese crisps. They're delicious with pepperoni sticks or with jerky, so you eat them together. It's like having fresh charcuterie on the trail, fresh charcuterie on the trail. They're not that good by themselves. I actually think they kind of taste like crap by themselves, but when you mix them with the meat, they taste pretty good. Big old bag of peanut butter pretzels. We change our snacks on every hike. This thing's a bit more heavy, but peanut butter pretzels are amazing. If you ever had them, they're delicious. Lots of calories, a little bit of protein, just lots of salt, kind of a nice thing to have some water, snack on those. Got a bag of plantain chips. These ones are actually spicy, so plantain chips, higher calorie kind of than chips, and yeah, they're just tasty, high calorie, pretty small. We always bring a bag of trail mix. That's a hiking classic. Nuts are very dense, very caloric, and very delicious when you're on the trail. So always be carrying these nuts. Yeah. Those are kind of the savory snacks we eat throughout the day. We also sometimes rip some sweet ones. We've got some dried banana chips, and we've got some dried mangoes. So we just kind of mix up the snacks throughout the day depending what we're feeling. Snacks, you can really pretty much bring whatever you want, whatever you like throughout the day. It's definitely easier than cooking in the middle of the day to just grab a protein bar, granola bar, have some nuts before you get to camp in the evening. But now it's time for dinner, and one of the biggest joys of hiking, getting to your campsite, setting everything up and boiling that water and making a delicious dinner. There's a couple things in our arsenal that we like to have for dinner. I like to go ultra light with dinner, and that's why we eat a lot of sidekicks. You've seen this before on my channel if you've watched any hiking videos. I'm pretty much obsessed with sidekicks. One of my dreams in life is really to be the spokesperson and the face of sidekicks. Like, I want my face and my hair on this Knorr bag here. So if anyone knows a representative from Knorr, anyone high up in the company, let me know. And I think it could be a really strong relationship. Sidekicks are super easy. So any form of like freeze-dried noodles, freeze-dried pastas, things like that. It's so easy because all you have to do is boil water. Bob's your uncle, you have a delicious dinner. Sidekicks, my favorite's the teriyaki flavor, and then anything else is great. This time we're gonna run chicken fried rice. They're ultra light. Right here, we've got 2 dinners, right? 1 bag of sidekicks is usually good for 1 person. So if you got 2 people, run 2 bags. It only takes about 750 mils of water if you're using 2 bags. Super light, super delicious, and it's gonna fill you up. Sometimes when we wanna get a bit more creative, have a little bit more fun, you know, we'll bring a curry, or sometimes we'll have a Thanksgiving dinner and do the whole instant potatoes, gravy, stuffing kind of thing. This time around, we're doing something fun as well. We're having a taco night on the trail. So what I've got here is I got chata. It's shredded and seasoned pulled pork in a bag. You open it up, you put it into a tortilla. It's delicious. So we've got shredded pork here, we've got rice, and we've got some old El Paso tortillas. So we're having a taco night on the trail. That's pretty fun. The one thing after you're done with dinner, that's pretty much the most important. One of the most important things to me is dessert. And trust me, we don't cheap out on the desserts. We always bring along marshmallows if we can have a fire, so we can have you know, a little marshmallow roast up. But we bring a huge bag of candy. This thing's the size of a small baby. This is diabetes in a bag here, but honestly, we're burning so many calories on the trail. It is so satisfying to have a huge bag of candy. In here, we've got jubes, and we've got these things called Sweet 16 sour candies. They're absolutely bomb. And we got Brooksides as well. These are great with tea. So every evening, we'll fire up tea after we have dinner. We'll sit, we'll watch the view, and we'll eat some Brooksides. We'll eat some candy. You know, we'll settle down. Then we'll pop into bed after we have a tea or a hot chocolate, whatever we're running that night. So the one thing to remember when you're packing hiking food, it's just a calculation of the calories that you need and the amount of weight you want to carry. So make sure to try and always opt for light foods, opt for freeze-dried foods when you can, and choose calorie-dense foods so you're not carrying too much stuff around. If you're just doing a 1-night or a 2-night hike, go crazy, man. Bring the whiskey, bring the wine, bring whatever you want. You know, you're not walking that far, but if you're on a long trail, you're going to be covering some miles, and you're out for, you know, 4 days, 5 days, you're going to want to keep it lighter because it's going to keep your shoulders feeling better and give you more energy throughout the trail. But every day gets easier when you're carrying hiking food. Let me know in the comments if you guys have tried any of the stuff I show you, and if you hike with it, that's awesome. Let me know what your favorite thing that I showed you was, or let me know if you have some recommendations for things I should take, because to be honest, our hiking food is kind of boring relative to a lot of other people and the things they bring. So let me know in the comments what your favorite thing is to bring hiking, so I can have some inspiration and make my food a little bit better as well. Everything I showed you here today was purchased at your everyday average Canadian grocery store. So you walk into a grocery store in Canada, at least, this is the kind of stuff you're going to see, at least in British Columbia. I know the United States has like the best hiking food ever and the best snack food ever, so they've got us absolutely topped out on that. But this kind of stuff you can buy super cheap from the grocery store. I think all this food for 5 days cost us about I think it was $67. So that's a pretty cheap price for hiking for 5 days. Like $67 for a lot of people. For 2 people, that's nothing, and that's less than you probably spend on groceries in your house. So whenever we go hiking on long treks, I find that we actually, you know, save money in our budget, which is kind of hilarious. The one big mistake a lot of new hikers make, especially for their first hike, is they just pack way too much food, and they pack foods that are way too heavy. I've seen new hikers pull out full blocks of cheese, which got me stoked because, you know, went and chatted with them, got some free cheese, but full blocks, huge blocks of cheese. And I've even seen like cantaloupes, like just crazy food that I'd never bring with me. Keep it light, keep it delicious, keep it calorie dense, and your days in the trail are going to be that much easier. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys got some inspiration. At the very least, try the whole powdered milk and cereal thing. It's delightful. Anyways, have fun out there. Have fun on the trail. Be safe. And as always, keep on adventuring. I'll see you next time.